Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the number one podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Thank you so much for listening. Now enjoy the episode. Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve Larzalier. Today's guest is Jeff Hempstead from JHimWoodworking. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How you doing up there?
I'm well, literally up there, right?
Yeah, staying warm.
Staying warm, yeah. Why don't you tell everybody about JHimWoodworking? Give us the backstory. How'd you get started?
Oh, backstory. I moved. I grew up farming down. I was about 100 south of here, close to Springfield, Illinois. And then I enlisted in the Guard after high school, and then fast forward a couple of years after getting out of basic training, the full-time job up here opened up. So I decided to leave the farm and move up to Peoria, the big city, and kind of do that. But I knew pretty quickly that I was getting bored. There was nothing to do. You get off work, it was like the first 9 to 5, so I was extremely bored. So I had to find something to do, coming from a farm where we worked all the time to a 9 to 5 where you're supposed to just sit on the couch and wait for morning. I decided to build a map in my garage and, social media work. If someone sees something they want it, and then build another one. So it just kind of snowballed from there and set up a Facebook page just for woodworking and just kept building. I ended up doing that nights and weeks, 6-7 years religiously, until I decided to leave the Guard and do this full time. So that was 4 years ago now that I went full time. So I started this probably 12 years ago.
How did you learn all this stuff?
It's all guesswork. I don't really know what I'm doing, to tell you the truth.
Yes. I love it.
I have no clue. My uncles on both sides of the family are just like phenomenal carpenters and woodworkers. The only person in my family that doesn't do woodworking is my dad. Like strictly farmer, strictly welder, metal, stuff like that. So he even says the same. I can't even build a proper pig gate. I have to go down his house and the parents hang on because he's just like, I don't know. So it's insane. But I remember finding, a circular saw on like the very back of the bench, like the bottom shelf. I remember getting it out. Oh man. And my uncle would bring me down like 2x4s and hardwood, as I was a kid, just because they knew I was interested in it. So, I was always building tree houses, tearing something apart, just the typical farm kid trying to build stuff in a shop that's not equipped for wood. But yeah, I think in my profession, I just honestly, like a lot of the inspiration, Instagram. My whole life, I've never anything. I was always a test taker. Could not focus on anything. But for some reason, like when woodworking, like I could see a cabinet from the very beginning. I could pick it apart in layers, and in my mind, I could separate all the pieces and put them back together. And I could just see it. You see those comments a lot. Like, you have plans for that? I'm like, it's up in my noodle somewhere. Like, I just kind of shut my brain off and go with it. But honestly, it's the first thing in my life that I've ever stuck to and made something out of it. Usually I'll get bored and move along. I'm the type of guy that wanted to be everything when he was a kid. From Swan Man to carpenter. But once I found woodworking, that was like the first thing in my life that I could focus on and actually see it and pay attention and complete it all the way through. So how I learned, I don't know. I can see things. I see it on Instagram. I see it on YouTube, and I can just one of those things. I can pull apart. I can balance it, make it low. I just had an eye for it. I really don't know other than that.
It is pretty fascinating, especially when you start seeing how things are done. Like, I'm so glad Instagram really introduced video, because if you start looking at the processes of things, and if you have, somewhat of a brain, you can really sort of learn a lot and implement a lot. And the gap between knowing what to do and then doing it and monetizing, if you work really fast, like can happen like pretty quickly. Isn't that true?
As far as like business success,
just business, yeah. Just in terms of like you know something, you put something out there, and to be able to get feedback from the market and then monetize it, it's fairly quick, right?
Yeah, and that goes for anything. That's what I always say. Like, I don't know how people go through life and don't have like some sort of passion. Like I said, like 9 to 5, people just go home and sit. But like, I always encourage people, like, screw the business, screw making money, just find something you like doing. Just even if it's painting or making cookies, like, dive into that and find your identity in what you love doing. Because like without this, I did a lot of remorse for leaving the family farm until I found woodworking. And then I'm like, damn, like this is my farm. Like this is the passion that my dad has for farming. So ever since then, I've lived a lot more peaceful. And I hate seeing people go through not finding their niche, because I can't imagine not having that. As much as I cuss it some days and want to go 9 to 5 again, I can't imagine myself being somewhere else. But yeah, there's no excuse for anything. We have the internet. We have endless information out there. You just get on there and if something you're interested in, I do it. I still to this day, I love doing everything. I love videography, and I do all this big shit. And my dad's like, "How do you like do all this?" I'm like, "I just like to stay busy. I like it. I do a lot of cooking, so I'm always looking at recipes." So like, there's no excuse for anyone not to pursue what they're interested in. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Find another one.
For sure. It's really fascinating. I'm looking through your Instagram over here on this other screen, and you seem like you're having a lot of fun.
100%.
That's awesome.
Awesome. I went through many years to where I thought, as soon as I went full time, I thought I've got to work 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and I did. I worked every weekend, and I worked at nights. My kids were getting older, and like. Honestly, when I gave my life to Christ, I was just like, this doesn't matter. Like, JHimWoodworking is not me. Like, it's not my identity. Like, yes, it's something I love, and I make a living off of it, but like I've said before on a podcast, like, this shop is nothing to me. Like, this business is nothing to me at the end of the day. Like, yes, I'm so proud of it, and I love the people that I meet, but business is not who I am. Like, I know Brian as a person. I think that's why
it's what you do. It's what you do. It's not who you are.
Yeah. It's not me. Like, so many people. At the end of the day, this is just a business. But I think that's why I have so much fun, because I don't let the business run. Like, there's days I sleep in, and days I don't even go in. If I wake up, I'm like, you know what? I'm sleeping. I'll sleep for 8 hours, and next day I'm so reinvigorated and recharged. And I think guys sleep. They, no pun intended, but they think they have to charge, because that's the way everyone will know that, that's the way successful people do it. Dude, successful people get their sleep, and they take their mental health seriously, and then I can't count the times I get burnt out, and I'm like, I'm going home. You, especially Woodworker, you can't push through. Nothing will turn out right. The next day you're going to be mad because you go home.
And then you're going to have to start it over again. You're going to have to start it over.
Exactly. There's nothing. And I tell my guys, I was like, I don't want you to come here and work. I don't want you to come here and sand all day long in the same spot. Like, I want you to build it how you want to go. Have fun. Like, this is art. Like, and if I don't like it, we'll redo it. It's just wood. I can care less.
Sure.
So people, I think they take business, not just woodworking, obviously, not everything, way too seriously. You have to have fun. And it's not always fun. Like, there's days I'm such a jerk in here to those guys. I'm stressed out. But yeah, I would say 90% of the time I'm just, this is fun. This is a blessing to be able to do this.
That's how did that outlook come about? Did you say you converted to Christ? Is that sort of the impetus, or were you always like this growing up?
No, I was. I mean, we were in church, and I always knew God, but I never gave it all to him. I didn't give him 50% here and there, 60% here and there. But my life was just going down a bad path. I'm now divorced, but at the time I wasn't being the best husband. I wasn't being the best guy. And it just hit me in the face. I was like, I can't do this. I just can't. So I surrendered everything to him. And, I hear people say this, and I even hear myself say how crazy it sounds. But when you finally put those hands in the air and say, "It's all yours, man. Like, let's see what you got." Then let's go. You can give 99% all day, but that 1% everyone will pack. Like, once you give it all to them, your life will change forever. And it's my testimony, and I know how crazy Christian people sound, and I try not to be those. I try to be just a normal dude that drinks beer and cusses, but still like, hey, God's got this, man. That was a big turning point in my life.
That's awesome. And at what point did you notice the correlation between that and business growth, or were you on the path already towards business growth? Like, when did you know with the business that you were like, oh my God, this is what I was meant to do?
I found that pretty early on. I remember getting home when I was still building out of the garage underneath the house where I started. And I'd come home from work, and there'd be a $1,200 check in there from someone that's never even met me in my life. And I'm like, I'm on to something. So I knew early on, like, it had potential. And and usually, like a lot of things, I'll dive into them, and then I'll get another notebook. Like, I did wedding videography for 2 years, and I got so confused to do it anymore. Don't ask me to do it. Homeboy's done with it. Like, we're not getting drunk on the weekends to go film a wedding for 12 hours. But this is something that I knew was there, but I think this is the first thing I've ever done like a slow burn. Like, I didn't rush it. To this day, I don't rush. Everything's very slow and thought out. So I subconsciously, I guess, made it out. Let it do its thing, let it burn and grow. I don't think I've ever had that distinct moment where I knew it was. I had those first couple of big jobs that I remember that were big at the time. I trusted me to do this. This is huge. To this day, I'm still waiting for that answer. I'm still waiting. Like, oh man, I made it. Like, I just picture myself as success story by any stretch of imagination of a smart business owner. We've been going this long, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
How did you make that decision to go from like, all right, I'm going to, work in a garage to like get my own spot and, have employees?
I feel like I blacked out, and here I am. I was pretty fortunate. So I respect a lot of people that can leave that job on their own will. So I was in the Guard, so my 12 year was coming up. So I had a drop dead date of February 7th, I believe it was. Like, I either had to poop or get off the pot kind of deal. And I knew a couple of years prior to that what I was going to do, but it was just a matter of getting production. So I'm extremely fortunate. I was able to do all my marketing. I'd work all night long. I mean, I'd be up till 3, 4 in the morning at 6. Like, it was a daily. It was freaking. I was sick all the time because I was never sleeping. Like, it was just a bad spot.
Super tired.
Yeah, but I had to be done. And now I can like reap the rewards of that by having my structure set up where I don't have much. But anyways, to make that jump, I had a drop dead date. So I told them I went in for the reenlistment meeting, and they're going to re-enlist me for the final 8 years in the military. And I was like, wow, Jeff, you have 8 years till retirement. I was like, I have this like dream that I built for the past 6 years where I have like, what if I retire and die? Like, that's not okay with me. Like, that's not okay with me. So I got out. I waived all the retirements and benefits and TRICARE and everything you could dream of. I mean, it cost us like $15 to have a baby. Like, you broke a bone and paid nothing. Like, the best benefits, great pay. But I was just like, at the end of the day, like, my mind, I knew it wasn't me. Like, that wasn't going to happen. I couldn't put that uniform on every day and keep doing that. Like, God bless it. Like, I'd do it all over again. I'd encourage anyone to join. But for me and where my mind was at, I was losing money being at the base. And it wasn't even about the money. It was just like, my brain was so screwed up and it was always sick. I needed to pick a spot where I needed to be. So I had a drop dead date, and that helped a lot. But those people that just make the jump and they don't have to, like, that's pretty good stuff. Like, when people can do that. But it was actually when I went full time, it was the least amount of work I've ever had in years, like 6 years. I had like one job on the books, and like, here I am, like, I have to leave. Like, there's no like, well, I'll give it another 6 months. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, it's time to do it. So we survived through it, I guess.
So and then who was your first employee?
Craig, which is here, he does a lot of he does everything, but he likes to be in the spray booth. So I probably just hired him 2 years ago. So I've got 2 buildings on the property, and a guy reached out wanting to rent one of them, which was never my intention because we use both of them. I said, well, if we can do kind of a shared space, if you need to just build one kitchen, he said, so that's fine. Just come in and, if you want to rent it out for 3 or 4 months. Well, Craig was his employee. Well, he kind of got out of it, excuse me, towards the end of his build. And I said, what about Craig? And I asked the guy that was renting, I said, do you want to come work for me? He goes, no, I don't. He goes, but what about Craig? So I ended up getting stuck with this clown for the last couple of years.
What, and how many employees do you have now?
I got 2. I just hired another guy. I always get emails, guys wanting to come learn. They're like, hey, can we come learn? And like, I'm not a teacher. I don't have patience to teach. I don't want to teach. I'm not here to take on interns. Like, that is not my style. Like, Dad's where I got it from, like from hard charging. Let's get the shit done and let's just work at our pace.
You learn on your own dime. Come here ready to learn, to work. Yeah.
But this guy, Dan, reached out. Same story. I've been following you for a while. He was a business owner, so that was kind of a plus. And I just kind of ignored him for a couple of weeks. And I was driving one day, when we do our best thinking. I said, well, send me some pictures of your work, thinking we'll see some birdhouses and, wooden flags and all the cutting boards. And he sent me some really nice tables. And I'm like, all right. I was like, yeah. So I wasn't, financially, I wasn't, still not in the position for a second employee, but I knew the business could afford not to get them and just keep them. So it's nice to have 2 guys that I can make a print for. Give them freedom, however you want to do it, whatever looks good, and I know they're going to take care of it. So we've had very few things built that I had to go through and like, I don't really like it. I mean, I can't do it again. They both have a pretty good mind for design.
What's the bread and butter with your revenue model? How does that work?
I don't know. We just we wing it.
People call you and then you just build.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you kind of what we're working on this year is our main goal. It's been a pretty exciting project. It'll get a little windy, but it's a pretty decent story, I guess. So in 2015, a lady reached out wanting a bed for children or a child with special needs, and she sent me like this 2x4. This was built 2015, so it's been forever ago. So anyway, she sent me like this crude picture of something this guy built, like these cattle-looking gates, and it had a gate all the way around the bed. I'm like, I can do it, but it's not going to look like that. Like, we're going to make it look like a piece of furniture. She's like, all right, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. This is the mattress size. So we built this bed. Didn't think anything of it. Just delivered it. It was just another project for me. Set it up. When she posted it, like all over her groups, her Facebook groups, and I was getting emails all over the country, like not even.
Wow.
And now recently we've got them from South Africa, like everywhere. So. We called it the Evan bed because the little boy's name's Evan. He's local. He's a Peoria kid. He was just a little baby then. Now he's old. So I built a couple of them that year, but like I was not ready for that. Like again, slow burn. When my mind's not ready, I don't rush it. I guess just with business, but everything else I just go hard on. So we built a few that year, and I just kind of threw it in my back pocket. Like the business isn't ready, like the shipping, the orange, like we just were not ready.
Yeah.
So 2020, I decided to kind of pull it. We were slow, and I was like, let me pull this back out. So we started building different ones, making our jigs, getting our system, like trying to get this thing dialed in. And started selling them again and shipping them out. Well, then now a lot of it is made. We're subbing out a lot of the pieces to a CNC company.
Yeah.
So we've got them dialed in now. I mean, it is like clockwork how we do them now. So we sell a bunch of them. They're basically just a bed with a big surround with an adjustable base. And special needs family loves them because they're attractive. They don't look like a hospital bed. They're safe. Everyone can sleep good. Like it's been such a humbling experience because I've delivered them.
Yeah.
It's within 5 hours we deliver and set up. It's fun to meet them, get pictures with them and meet the kids. Like it's been a very humbling experience to do all this. But that's kind of our focus for 2024. We actually bought the CNC machine. We bought the company out, the one that was making them. So we bought all of his equipment, a lot of his stuff, so we can just do everything in house.
That is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So you got your own little product line.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's what we thought, buying the CNC machine. We're like, not only can we do the oven beds, but everything else, cabinet jobs, surface and tables, it's not just a one-trick pony. So that's going to be
doing cabinets before the oven bed, or before you got the CNC, or not really?
I would, yeah. We do quite a bit of cabinets, a lot of niche cabinets, more than like going in and doing a kitchen. We'll do a lot of like bourbon bars, wine bars, pantry, stuff like that. Love doing mudrooms, of course. I think everyone does mudrooms. But as far as doing a full kitchen, like we do them, but it's nothing that excites me. It's just I think there's more money per foot on niche items than going into a full kitchen.
Has your audience, like the audience size, helped you get business?
Yeah, I think more on Facebook than Instagram. We get a lot of work on Facebook. Facebook's always been the bread and butter as far as getting leads and business.
Facebook business page or Facebook personal page?
Business page. Yeah, that's always been big for me, it seems like. And of course, you got to take the bad with the good. I just said last week, we're just done with small jobs. It's hard to pass them up in the beginning. But like last week, we took these floating shelves. We always make them longer and cut them on side, but like they were completely wrong. Like the dimensions I got were completely wrong. And I just told Craig, I was like, I'm done. I was like, we're going to put a shop minimum in this year, and if they want something done, like it's just going to be a shop minimum. We can't make money. Back in the day, like $600 to $800 job was big, man. That was a big deal.
That was big, yeah.
No, man, I got $4,000 insurance payments. I've got a mortgage on the shop. Like that doesn't go far, man. I'd rather build a table to sell, than mess around with these little $600 jobs. And don't get me wrong, like you're in the beginning stages, or your overhead is low. Like eat those things up, man. Like that's good walking money. But for me, and my
build them real quick and turn them around.
That's the thing too. These small jobs come through, and we'll just like, we'll knock them out real quick. Well, something always goes wrong, and it takes 10 times longer because your brain isn't focused. Like a lot of the jobs, I can again pull apart my head and put together for a couple of weeks. But someone drops something off or wants something stupid made, like you just think you'll do it real quick without thinking, and then you're completely screwed because you're trying to get onto that next like $10,000 job. You just want this thing off your bench. And it turns in, you end up spending more money, wasting time. Like we wasted a whole Friday with the shelves. And I was just I wasn't mad, but I'm like, we're done with this. Like we're better. I don't want to say we're better. The company's better than this. Like we don't need to be.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously you hit a boiling point where you're like, this is done, right?
Yeah.
And so
and love those jobs, and I'll still do them. Everyone's always having a wedding and wants a cutting board. Like, that's fun. Like, if it's someone I know, but, like, if the time allows it, I always call it, like, a Saturday job. Like, I'll come in on a Saturday morning and knock it out for you. Like, it's not a big deal. But for the most part, like, we're just kind of done with that market. That's just not our niche. It's back to kitchen cabinets. We get requests all the time for shaker cabinets. And I tell them, like, you're not going to want to buy them through me. Like, you can have that same look at a fraction of the price. Like, it's not going to be as nice, but people don't care about what it is. They just want to look nice. So I was like, if you just want that look, go for it. But like, if you want like cutting board inserts and like all the fancy dog food drawers and like the steps on the kick plate, like that's what I like. I won't deliver you the best shaker style cabinet. I just won't because my heart's not in it. But like, if you got like a $50,000-$60,000 kitchen that you want, like, hey, do your thing. We did a bar last year, a couple hundred miles away. We went to do a bar. She ended up adding all this stuff. So we ended up doing the whole basement from like shelves to bars. And she was just like, here's a check. She's like, do whatever you want. These are the colors I want. Like, I want your taste. So she's followed me forever. She's like, I want all the weird stuff. So she had like cutting board pull-outs and places for shot glasses. And it was just really, it was so fun just to do it. Different depths. It was just unique. It was fun. And she just didn't care. And that's like obviously the dream client. It just says like, I follow you. I love what you do. Like, do your thing. So those are the people that get like the best. So there's a picture on my wall. She waited like a year and a half for this table. Never reached out. Never asked me anything. When I finally got to it, I think it was a time we were moving shops when I bought this. I reached out, I'm like, I don't care. You take your time, do whatever you want with that table. And she got like this table. Like everything was perfect on it. even a need fancy things. Like clients got to understand that, man. Like this isn't Amazon.
This isn't IKEA. This isn't
Yeah,
West
I have no
Elm.
problem telling people. I have no one else should. You shouldn't have a problem telling people, like, listen, you either like pull your roll a little bit, or like, I'm gonna give you this deposit. Like, you have to kind of put them in their place. We had a terrible clients, but we've been very fortunate. Great clients that are great friends. But we had some in the account I won't say, but the wife was just like the whole time, like. So we were paid for the job, and we're doing it. Well, they kept having stuff on. Finally, I called them. I said, listen, what's more? Well, you can't just pick and choose what you do. I said, that's the beauty of what I do. I can't. I said, you pay us for the job. We're not doing it. So I said, we're not going to be listening. I refuse to be like in any sense. Like, we're just not going to put up with it. So I would say to people out there, like, again, find your identity in yourself, and like don't let these clients think it's Amazon, because you're way better than them.
Well, I say this all the time to folks, like that it really comes down to mindset and believing that you deserve more than what you're getting at the moment. And then two is that your time and your craft and your, let's say your tools, but you put a lot of time into it. And oftentimes you're really undercharging for what the value that you're providing, right? And so, compared to something made in a factory overseas, that was shipped on a container, like it's the equivalent of it's funny that you say that you grew up on a farm. It's like it's like knowing your farmer, right? It's like knowing where your food came from. It's like knowing where the thing that you're going to spend the most amount of your time, whether it's your kitchen or your dining room table, for the rest of your life and your children's lives. Like, wouldn't you want to pay top dollar for that? And I feel
and no one does. I mean, that's just not the world we live in. And I understand, like, I do
that we live in.
No, and I'll do the same thing. Like, I'll put cheap furniture in my house just to get by. And I've made Facebook posts before that were like, if I'm too expensive, like, you may not be my client, but I'm also not your builder. Like, I'm not in this cheap furniture. Like, that's not what excites me. Anyone, like, back to shaker cabinets. Anyone and their dog can build shaker cabinets. Like, that's not why I'm a business. Like you said, I have fun. I have fun because I pick and choose what I want to build. Like, we probably say no. I'm not going to say as much as yes, but there's several times where I just tell people, like, listen, I told the designer last year, I was like, you're not my client. Like, this, she wanted to meet, and we had to have meetings and all this time out of the shop. And I was like, I don't do that. Like, I've already gave you the designs. You shoot. Then she was asking my qualifications. I'm like, I've already gave you the design. Like, we're past the point of qualifications.
Yeah. Stop wasting my time.
She was barking orders. We need to meet here. We need to meet him. And finally, I jumped on call and I said, listen, like, this was like a $30,000 job. Like, this was a good job, good commercial job. And I called her. I said, listen, we have so much going on, and we needed the work. Like, we were busy, but I needed the work.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to go down to people's level and say, you need to do this. I was in the military for 12 years. Do you think I'm going to let someone tell me what I need to do now? Like, no way, man. Like, I told her.
I got out of the military for this. Yeah.
I said, you're not the client for us. And that's the thing, is everyone wants to morph to be the business for the client. I'm not doing it. Like, I love my clients. We have great relationships, but our clients, like, know things are expensive for the most part. They know things are going to take time. Back to find your worth. Like, you are worth. Like, don't be afraid to charge. Do not be afraid to charge like you think you're worth, because that's a lot of it. Like, as I'm not an arrogant person, I'm very humble, but I would say, like, JHimWoodworking, people want a JHimWoodworking. It's like, as vain as that sounds, like, it has nothing to do with me, it's the business, but like, it's something exciting for them. They get to see the process, the videos, the pictures, like, they become like morphed into the project, and that's what I've created. So those people, like, market, I always say, like, when someone types anything on Facebook, like, looking for a cabinet or looking for a table, like, my name is underneath there, like, all the time. Like, that's what people need to do, is I always say, shove it down people's throats. Like, your Aunt Sally may not have money, but she's going to see a post from her nephew that is like a lawyer. And she was like, oh, I know this guy. Like, yeah, you may not be marketing to those people, but you want them to know your name. Everyone knows McDonald's, but they still have commercials. It's kind of one of those things, like shove it down people's throat. Like when someone types woodworking or needs something built, like if you're not tagging me, like I'm sliding your DM, like, hey, I know you saw this, like, and you didn't tag me. Like, what the heck's wrong with you? So yeah, kind of a in your face motto for me as far as social media goes. But
yeah. That's you're doing all of the things I tell people to do. It's like, you have to. I mean, here's the thing. People need to be reminded, 7 to 16 times about your name and what you do. And then once they do, they actually need to understand you and your story and what you stand for. Because, I actually just posted this on Instagram the other day. I was like, I hate to break it to you, but you don't have a brand. You got a logo. And oftentimes your inability to tell your story and let people know who you are and what you do and what you stand for is holding you back. Because here's the thing, everybody could do what you do. Right? And I believe that there's more than enough work out there. And I probably, you're a man of Christ, but like you have to believe in abundance. You have to believe in a world where there's more than enough customers for your tables and your cabinets out there. And what makes us different is the thing that attracts a certain style of person to you. And so like to think that that there's not enough work out there is like the reason why you're, if you're listening to this, that it's like not enough people know that you exist. You actually need to let people know that you exist.
It's a world full of logistics and internet and connections. Like again, we ship beds all over the country. Like it's insane. If you had told me years ago, like it can happen. Like you just have to really want it. Got an uncle tell me I talked about going full time way before full time. Like I was barely even building stuff. I was like, I like to do this full time. Well, you can only build so many. What do you say? Cubby racks or mudroom racks. And I remember like, pardon me, but I remember like, F you, man. Like I can build.
Who said this?
One of my uncles. He's like, well,
yeah. That's not limited mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying it cautiously because he's a business owner. Like he builds a lot of crap, but like he said it, and I wasn't ready to go full time by any stretch of the imagination when we had this conversation. But I was just like, watch me, man. Like that's kind of what I feel like on is. I'm like, no, just watch me. Like we'll make this happen.
For sure. I mean, it's an interesting thing when people place limitations is basically based off of their worldview, and you can't necessarily take it personal because it's the world that they see, right? Like, I mean,
they're in their bubble.
If you have 2 other people, you've just tripled your production. Like, right? Like,
and that's there's no reason to, like, you see guys rent these big shops or buy these big shops and all this brand new equipment. Kind of back to the branding thing, like everyone always they're so obsessed with getting their logo first. I didn't have a logo for like 4 years. Like maybe I ought to get like something to put on these, or like everyone wants the merch and the brands and like shut up, just go build stuff, man. Like
just go build stuff.
Whatever you're doing, like just go make it happen. Like it's worth nothing. There's nothing to back that brand up. Yeah,
you don't have it.
Yeah, I just no. Those usually go downhill fast. Sucks,
all right, man. So this is a part of the podcast where I give you any marketing or business advice. Is there anything that you need help with that I could give you some advice on?
You said it yourself. I'm already a marketing guru, so no. No, honestly, we're in a comfortable spot. We've had some in the past, talked to some marketing people, and they'll start like using kind of like a little bit of their jargon, while I'll start like shooting some of mine back. They're like crap, he knows all this. Like he knows like the ins and outs of social media, because I've been good at social media, and I think I'm good with it. Like not even like pat my own back, but I'm just like myself. Like I don't get on there and like act like I don't know anything. I just tell everyone, like I told you, it's guesswork, man. I don't know what I'm doing over here.
For sure.
I'm myself, and I show my mess ups, and I just try to keep it as real as possible because, back in the day, Instagram, like when I started following you, it was so much fun, man. Like we have meetups. in like Las Vegas and like builder shows. Like it was so much fun. We had such a fun community. And now it's just like Instagram's just a business, it seems like. And I don't take, I mean, I used to edit videos and I barely try. I mean, honestly, like I put the stupidest things up just to get like a little bit of engagement. But I've been stuck in the same number. Maybe that's something. I've been stuck in the same number for 3 years. And I just I hand to God, I don't care about followers anymore. There's a time where I live by it, but I could care less. It doesn't. Sure. I'm not trying to get followers, but I think I put out some decent stuff, and it just gets like for 3 years I've been completely stagnant. And we've got, I just had 7 million something. And I didn't get like a follower out of it.
Of you, yeah. So I mean, well, tell me what's something that you're challenged with in your business that I could help you with.
I guess more website sales. We've got a guy in town. It's a contractor I'm pretty close with. He's starting a business where it's he's wanting to go into houses and make them more handicap accessible. So like bathtubs and handrails and stuff like that, which is a great idea. But then he called me, he's like, I think the oven bed would go good on the website because it would kind of help us both. So I've never had a proper website going. That's always been my dream for the oven bed, other than answering emails all day long. I can just say, hey, go to the site. All the questions and answers are there. Like you can click and just buy it. So anyways, his website gal was going to plug the oven bed into his website. So I was like, yeah, if you want to pay for it and manage it, like sold. But eventually I'll probably want my own, obviously, ovenbed.com. And then that's my biggest thing. But as far as like marketing and social media goes, like I just I'll post my outfit for the day. That's about how serious as I take it. But no, I feel like we're just in a comfortable spot. No, I could dump so much more energy into it like I used to. But I'm just
you're not helping me out here. What could I help you with? There's got to be you woke up with something this week or this month that like I'm not going to let you go without being on the pod. This is part of the show. Tell me, what do you need help with? Like
as far as social?
No, marketing, business, anything. Like I'm not. I mean, most people that know I'm not a social media guy. I mean, social media is what one of the things that I do, but like, I help grow and scale businesses, right? Yeah. Like, that's
talk to me like I am like an idiot kindergartner and just pretend this is our initial meeting. What would you want like everyone to take their first steps? Because I put no money into marketing. There's no website guy. There's no, I've never done it. So make this kind of an initial conversation that people would want to hear.
Well, tell me, what are you currently doing now to get in clients?
Nothing.
Everybody comes to you.
Yeah.
And it's just all word of mouth.
Yeah, social media. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you post to social, you post on Facebook, right?
Yep.
And then after that, people refer to each other. That's how you get business.
Yep.
Okay.
It's such a tight network here in Peoria too, so that helps a lot. Yeah. Social word of mouth.
Okay. And then what is where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months?
I'm not a beach guy, so I don't know. 6 months, I don't know.
12 months, a year from now. Where would you like the business to be?
I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at. I don't know. I don't have a business mind. I don't get too far into this stuff. Obviously, we need to scale. I need to scale up, at least 25% to cover the new guy, comfortably. That way, that's safe. And then, obviously, the business we just absorb. We got to start getting back in the green as far as that goes. So yeah, definitely scaling up a little ways, but again, slow burn. I just don't. I don't want to say I don't have a plan. But as far as like the plan, like we just don't I don't know. I don't have any plan to scale out. I just keep doing what we're doing. We're just keep coming. That's kind of been our. Which now, like we have the accountant. That's advice I'll give to anyone starting out. Get your accountant off the rip. Like you can't afford not to have an accountant. Like if you're in business, like get your accountant. But as far as marketing, I don't know. I really don't.
So the goal is to grow at least by 25-35% in the next year. Okay.
Yeah, focusing on the Evan beds probably. So more, if I could get marketing help anywhere, it's definitely going to be on the Evan bed. If I was to put money into marketing, it's definitely going to be on the Evan bed, not the JHim Woodworking side of things. It varies on size. I mean, 5-7 grand complete, delivered, shipped, whatever.
You need to grow by an extra 35%. What's your capacity right now to produce Evan beds on a monthly basis?
Once the CNC's in-house and set up and we're doing everything in-house, we could probably do 10 a month.
10 a month, okay.
Probably, yeah.
So if you were able to get 10 a month, that would help you get there.
Yeah.
Close that gap.
Yeah, for sure.
An extra 300 grand.
Yeah, and that's like, and same thing, like even if we're not selling 10 a month with that machine, like again, with the artistic mind, you can sell anything. And that's where the small jobs may come back, is like, hey, we can make these little small things in a minute and sell them. So it's all about, what I call background money. Like you can always make background money. If you have a creative mind, like you can make money. Don't worry about money. You can make it.
Okay. So what's holding you back from selling 5 to 10 extra a month right now of the Evan bed?
Just the machine the machine's just not set up here. And again, it's the slow burn. We're focused on the Illinois market, so we can kind of control it, get our systems in place, like learn what works best, start small, again, slow burn. That's how my brain works. And that goes hand in hand with like no debt. Like I just don't deal with debt. I just don't like debt. I don't charge stuff. I pay cash.
Yeah.
If and when I ever shut this thing down, I just want to keep the money. I don't want to pay the banks. So that's where my brain is kind of a work in business, because I'm like, I don't want to take the chance and spend the money. But now we're at the point where I know this Evan bed is worth spending the money and getting a little bit of debt. But yeah, that's the only thing holding us up, like at the very moment, is just not having that machine in house. It'll probably be another month before we get everything up and running. But yeah, once it's going, like maybe we go on.
And how would you get the word out for selling the Evan bed?
That's where the marketing would be great. I mean, right now it's just through social and just the network of special needs parents.
So for me, I mean, I know you know it all. Do you want to know how I would market the Evan bed?
No.
Okay, good.
I don't know. So like post stupid stuff on social. That's my marketing.
Sure. So what I really like about this Evan bed is that you're really serving a niche market.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I would do is I would build a specialty website and potentially, either through you or just build a community around parents that, and parents of special need and custom furniture just for them. Right. Yeah. The way that I would kind of get the word out is by interviewing everybody that has bought an Evan bed, period.
Yep.
And then I would get them on a video like this, and I would have them, do a tour and show the kid in the bed and like talk about the impact that it's had on the child.
Yeah.
And then on your end, I would document every single bed that gets built. And then as it gets shipped out, I would, on the website, put a map of where all of the beds get shipped to.
Cool. Sure.
And then a story, and then something interesting, whether it's a QR code that's engraved and that shows the video of the bed being made. And then a custom note from everybody that's touched the bed that goes next to the kid's bed to make it feel super duper special for them.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
And so I would take the videos that you would make of you building the beds, promote the crap out of that, edit it with the bed being delivered and installed.
Sound, music.
Oh man. And then you can, but I mean, those videos could end up being like 3 to 5 minutes. Like, and then you can market the parents' testimonials, you can market the builds. And then on the content end, I would just be asking, what else do you need? What else do you need? What else do you need? And it would be like this very iterative thing. And I would also donate a percentage to like the Special Olympics or something, right?
Sure.
Like special needs. And then you have, and I would make it super transparent. This is, this brand that makes custom furniture for special needs children, and it'd be like X amount produced, X amount donated, X amount families happy. And then you just like, that's literally it.
Yeah.
But then the way that I would get the word out is that I would partner with all of the social service and nonprofits and Facebook communities of these families, and literally just give them a discount, like offer buy now, pay later type deals, just so that you can. This alone could like way more eclipse your current business. And is easily a $2 to $3 to $5 million business
for sure. And that's kind of where my heart's at too. And then I can just build whatever the hell I want, because that's the beauty. Yeah. It's not hard to build. I mean, it's not hard to build. No one can build it. It's so hard. So this your marketing strategy that comes from being on the podcast, right? Like
that comes free. Yeah. That comes free. You got to pay for the implementation. So. Listen. I mean, it's on the podcast. Anybody could, know it. But was that helpful to hear?
No, I love that. Yeah, because even Craig, we had a photo shoot with him the other day. He's like, I'm so invested in this. Like my employees, like I love this project. So it's like, it's a beautiful thing, man. It puts a lot of things in perspective when you get to build for these kids, and it's been extremely humbling. I'm just proud of. I'm really proud of it. But yeah, that marketing, that's good stuff. That's a lot of the testimonials, the video testimonials.
Oh man, it's everything. Community is community over every. I mean, if truly too, like right now, I'm even looking at your social. You got 25K Instagram, 15K on Facebook. What I would love to see more of is let me see. Just so the Evan Bet, you and the Evan Bet. I'd love to see more. I'd love to see more clients on your thing. You know what I mean? Just like clients with your stuff, right? Like building more of a community around you.
Right. And if you go to the Evan Bet Facebook, every time we deliver, we get all of our meet 'em pictures. Like if you go to the Evan Bet Facebook, like that is definitely more of the community side of things there.
Yeah.
Because that is a tight community. I mean,
it's a very tight community.
The families with special needs is so tight. Like it's heartbreaking because I just want to give free beds away all the time.
I know. I mean, look, you might even be able to get one of these special needs foundations to subsidize like a cheaper version. Just pay you to do it. You know what I mean?
A lot of the times we'll get texts from foundations,
it's beautiful. I don't
know how many we gave away, but it's just been crowdsourced. We'll and we'll have the money within a couple days. I mean, it's people have been so awesome.
That's cool, man. All right, that's great. How can people get in touch? What's your Instagram? Share.
Yeah, don't call me. Text me or don't call me. No, social media. J.HimWoodworking. The Evan Dead, wherever, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, wherever, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All right. Dude, thank you so much for your time.
You bet, man. Stay warm up there.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Get that proposal ready for me. I want you to take that over.
You want me to take over the Evan Bed?
Yeah, the marketing side. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. All right.
Reach out.
All right.
See ya.